Elsa?
Do you have a Frozen loving kid at home that would literally like to live in Arendelle 24/7? If so, you're going to want to stick around because my name is Anne. I'm an interior designer, and today I'm going to show you how you can create an Elsa inspired bedroom with renderings, real product links, and budget alternatives. So, although I'm a bit partial to Anna because I think I have a second child bias, all the kids want to be Elsa, right? Probably because she has the cool powers and she's strong and elegant. So that's whose bedroom we're going to be exploring today, although it really is some minor tweaks that you could make if you do have an Anna lover that I will explain as well. Okay, so here we see Elsa's bedroom from the beginning of the movie. It's a lot of different shades of purple, and elements are inspired by Norwegian and Scandinavian architecture and craft. So, my complaints about the space that we want to remedy today are that it's a bit sparse, it's a bit sterile, and it really lacks storage. So, we're going to remedy that in the design today. And what I also want to say before we get into things is I have two young kids. If you're a parent or caregiver of any kind, you are a superhero, and it's obviously up to everyone how much or how little they want to spend on something like their kid's bedroom design. And if you're a parent, I'm sure you're busy, so let's not waste any more of your time and let's get into the design. Okay, so here we're starting with the basic bedroom before we get into any of the finishes first and then the furniture. So of course, I think the most important element is the walls here. So I'm suggesting that you do a peel and stick wallpaper that looks like the purple that Elsa had in her bedroom. So her bedroom, you can see in the image, it had this kind of like diamond and then snowflake pattern with light purple and darker purple, which I think it is important to have that warmer, darker purple offsetting some of that like cooler lilac purple. So this company, Love versus Design, has a ton of patterns, but you can also completely custom color them. So I've used this and it's really cool. I thought this pattern was perfect, really pretty. Still could work for an older kid, not just like a 4-year-old Elsa lover. So I really like this, and I have the link, and what I did was I did that lighter and the darker purple in the coloration. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I did find, I liked that this was a denser pattern. I think it feels cozier, but they do also have this one I'm showing that's kind of like a snowflake pattern if you want to go more in that direction. And then, of course, if you do have wood wainscoting, I would always leave wood looking like wood, but you could paint it out to be white to be closer to what they had in the movie. I chose Sherwin-Williams Snowbound for obvious reasons, but also it's just kind of a nice light, not completely like stark white that you could do. Also, just want to mention, so what they did a lot in the movie is what's called rosemaling. It's a Norwegian craft of, painting decorative flowers and designs onto literally everything. It's on Elsa's door, it's on her bed and her room divider. It looks very similar to the patterning on their clothes. So a lot of crafty DIY people have done this for their kids, or they also sell stencils of it. So if it is something you're interested in doing, you could do on the door. If you Google it, you will find a ton of options. After that, you get into the area rug. So they had a couple. I think sometimes it looks different, one rectangular and one round. This one is super pretty with the patterning and those warmer purples, pinks. And I think those warmer tones are really important. You can see here if you Google all of these different like themed frozen bedrooms and Airbnbs. I'm showing from Airbnbs because I didn't want to show from like people's real homes because that feels mean and not my place. But I think they can get kind of like icy and cold and not feel not only like timeless, obviously, but just like not that cozy for a bedroom. And I think what's missing in them that actually existed in the movie is those like warmer, like magenta plum tones that contrast like the cooler, like lilac icy colors. So I think this rug does a really beautiful job of bridging that gap. And then I'm showing they didn't have curtains in this room, but in other rooms they definitely had velvet curtains. Again, I know I'm talking about like an animated movie, like it's a real house, but it's fine. So I chose to do it on the windows here with this purpley color. These are from an Etsy seller who does a ton of different colors. And then I just found on, I think Wayfair, this kind of like crystal finial that kind of looks like a snowflake, I thought was a fun accent. Okay, so getting into the furniture, of course she has a canopy bed, and you could go, I mean, you can find a frozen canopy bed. I wanted to do something that would grow with the kid a bit more. Plus, this one also has storage because it has drawers in the bottom. It's by Jeremiah Brent for Crate and Barrel. And I think the styling's really pretty, and it still kind of has like the turns to the posts, wood posts. So I just think this is something that could grow with your kid a bit more than kind of like a themed canopy bed. But you could buy curtains and just like, as you're putting this frame together, put them on the rails there if your kid really does want that kind of like cozy princess canopy bed vibe. And so then she had 2 nightstands. Of course, hers were literally just tables with like no storage and a vase with flowers on top, because obviously kids just have vases and flowers on their nightstands. This is where it just feels so sparse and silly to me. So I thought these were beautiful. They're carved wood. They come in different custom options. I have a budget alternative, but I just think the shape of it is kind of tying into those like diamond shapes and snowflake shapes. So that's what I'm showing here. And I just think it's really pretty. It's actually from a Western shop, but I don't think it reads Western when you see it with everything else here. So then I did add in 1 round area rug. I think it can be kind of a cool way to zone the space, and also it's like flexible for the future if you want to rearrange things and you can move the rugs around and create different zones. Maybe there's 1 kid in the room now and it's going to be 2 later, and so things will just make sense in a different way. But I liked the layering of the different purple tones, so this is more of a lilac. Oh, let me mention too, the larger rug is washable, but still mostly cotton because I do think natural materials are nice in a bedroom. Okay, so we have the 2 rugs, and then in both Elsa and Anna's room, they have a room divider because I think that's where they like got changed. So I think it still would be something that a kid would love to have a room divider, kind of like a place to hide behind. And again, it's flexible. You can move it around for different purposes. Theirs were painted, you know, that rose milling thing. So you could buy some very simple wood divider and paint it, but I'm not doing that. So this is one that's already decorative because it's carved. It's actually from Home Depot. I'm sure it's available other places, but I liked the curve to it. Elsa's did have some curves to the top of it. This is like a soft white wood, and then an armchair. So Elsa had 2 or even more huge like throne-like armchairs in purple, which you obviously aren't going to get. I thought this, it's like a faux mohair plum color armchair, was really beautiful. And what I do like to do with my kids' stuff is buy stuff that if they get sick of it at some point, I'm happy to steal it and reuse it somewhere else. So I think you could certainly do that with a chair like this. So again, I guess princesses don't need storage because they didn't have an armoire or dresser or anything. I selected this low dresser. I like low dressers for kids' rooms, not only so they can reach it, but less of a chance of tipping. This one's from Anthropologie, and they actually have pretty coordinating nightstands, which is what I'm including as an alternate below. And then after that, getting into some lighting. So Elsa had at least 2 of these double like purple glass sconces. They're super decorative, super large, super formal feeling. So I found these ones instead that I thought were so cool and fun. They have purple and kind of green glass. And again, that like triangle shape is playing with the shapes here. The triangles, diamonds, snowflakes, and the mix of metals. I thought super pretty, super cool. Again, I would steal this from my child. And then for the table lamp, in some places throughout the castle, they have these like double torchères. So I thought this double table lamp was a cool nod to that. Again, being a little bit more playful and less formal in that, you know, one's a circle and one's a triangle, and there's kind of a curve to it. It's a mix of metals. Again, really cool. Something that will grow with your kid. So if you don't happen to have huge triangular windows in your home, I think this mirror from Wayfair is a fun alternative that captures kind of that spirit. It's a bunch of diamonds together. It's quite large, so you could almost install it as well as like a full-length mirror closer to the floor. Just like a totally fun nod that I think ties into the shape of the wallpaper and everything else that we have going on. Oh, and then the bedding. So you can see it wasn't they sell frozen bedding, obviously, and I totally think for the sheets to like get your kids some frozen sheets. I'm linking Pottery Barn and Target, both do that. Maybe some other places. But for the bedding, it is something I would invest typically a bit more in. I remember when I was like probably a preteen and I was obsessed with this like bubble, green and blue bubble comforter cover from some catalog we got, and I like begged my mom for it. She finally got it. And then it just felt so plasticky and like not cozy at all. I never told her this. And so it was just like, even though I was like obsessed with the look, it just didn't feel nice, right? And so we don't want that. So if you see the bedding in the movie, it's quite simple, but then it has that patterning to it. So I love this collection from Green Row. They're really nice feeling, like quilted cream color with that kind of like magenta and plum detailing to it. And then you can throw on a quilt. I liked this quilt is kind of what's that shape? I don't know. I remember thinking the shape was appropriate. It's probably like diamonds or something. So you can mix those like more quality materials with, the frozen, get them the Elsa sheets, like obviously, if that's what they want. These are the ones from Pottery Barn. I just liked these ones. And then throw in some pillows as well, more storage. So she obviously had that window seat, which if you can do that, that's awesome because you can get so much storage underneath, and you can get a custom cushion from like Etsy or wherever. So instead, I'm just showing this is an interior define bench, which I like interior define because you can choose the fabric. So this one does have a bit of storage in the bottom, but then it's still open underneath because you can put baskets or something under that. But in terms of the ottomans, it's a place that I would save and just get some Wayfair storage ottomans because this is my Anna and Elsa. This is what the kids are going to do with it and be constantly in and out and moving it around. So I wouldn't invest as much in these pieces, but I thought, it's a chance to add some of that blue in with some fun patterning and just like mix it up more with some more flexible pieces. Again, with a bit of flexible storage, you can do like a freestanding clothes stand. Maybe you don't have a huge closet or you just want like your kids to be able to grab and go some things. Or also if you don't have a huge coat closet in your entry, it's another place that you could put that stuff. So I liked the shape of this one. It felt a little bit like fantasy, almost like woods or something. I thought it was really pretty. I have an alternate that's more like a white and mint color. And then Elsa did have, I feel so funny talking about this fake child, but here we are. She had a dollhouse, but I would love to do a dollhouse that's also a bookshelf because it's like multi-purpose and kind of grows with the kid a bit more. So these are really beautiful ones that come in a few different like wood finishes. Maybe it's in the middle of the room, maybe you push it against a wall. But you're still getting that feel, you're still getting that fun, but extra functionality that will grow with your kid. And then after that, a bunch of accessories. So, these frozen storage boxes, why not? They're collapsible, they're easy, your kid will love them. This little jewelry box, it's not frozen branded, but it's that like icy blue. You can bring some patterning in with the pillows. It's like her purple chairs had patterning like on it. I don't know if you're sourcing that, but just get some pillows instead to bring some of that. It's kind of like iCat, diamond, purple plum, cream, magenta colors. And then that plaque is actually this Etsy seller that does rose milling work. And I think it's so pretty. That's something you could do. Just get that little plaque instead of getting a whole canopy bed like painted out with those rose milling patterns. So just some ideas to throw some accessories in to kind of, amp up the Elsa-ification of the bedroom. Okay, so here's the final before and after from this blank bedroom into an Elsa frozen inspired bedroom. And I think what makes it work is balancing the warmer wood and warmer purples against those cooler like icy blues and icier purples, choosing pieces that honor the movie but still could transition with your kid, or even you could repurpose them for something in the future. I really love this. I say this at the end of every rendering process, but I think there's something about taking that inspiration and then making it your own, making sure you're, prioritizing storage and comfortability and things like that. And so what you get feels timeless and beautiful. And then just to mention too, the tweaks I would make for an Anna lover, if you look at her room, really it's just that the wallpaper, I would choose like a pinker tone for the background color And then all of her furniture is white instead of this like warmer mid-tone walnut that we have in Elsa's, although I do prefer the warmer wood tone myself. And then to get into some budget alternates here, you can see a product page with everything coming together, and then those tweaks that I would make. You could, of course, always do paint instead of wallpaper, although if you paint yourself, that time is a real an investment. But the color I selected is Sherwin-Williams Enchanted. Just to mention too, it's kind of similar in my baby's nursery. I did, Benjamin Moore. I did Benjamin Moore lavender lipstick. It's a little truer purple, but it's really pretty if it's just something else you might want to check out. If you were to recreate that two-tone on the walls because you don't have wainscoting, I would do the purple at the bottom and go like 2/3 up the walls with that, and then do the white at the top to wrap with the ceiling. I think it'll feel a little more elegant than trying to recreate a true wainscot with the white on the bottom and paint. I don't think it would work quite as well. So the first change would, of course, be to do paint, and then switching out some of the furniture like I mentioned. The nightstand here actually coordinates with that dresser from Anthropology. This is a purple velvet or faux velvet, I don't know, armchair from Wayfair. And then I did also like this dollhouse bookshelf because it like spins, so you could use it in the middle of the room. I just didn't love, maybe you could stain it to be like a warmer wood finish. That's why I didn't ultimately go with it. So those were some things. I think I changed out some of the accessories, like you could get less expensive pillows. The clothes stand, did I already say that? This is white and blue. It kind of felt like fanciful to me in a way that I think kids would find fun. So the product links are below for those budget, and by budget, I just mean less expensive. I'm not fitting any particular budget. We would have to work one-on-one for that, but less expensive than the originals that I showed. So before I lose my voice, I just wanted to point out that I actually used the same bedroom background for a Wicked-inspired styling that I did, and it's cool to see the difference that interior styling can make, not only in how a room looks, but also how it feels. So if you're interested in something like that, you should definitely check that video out and consider subscribing to my channel. And if you watch this today for yourself or for a kid, you're a hero, and I appreciate you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.